There's a lot at stake. And how we end this war, it makes a big difference. How we end this war. And it makes a big difference to tell the American people the truth about what our options are in ending this war. If tomorrow the order goes out from I'm President of the United States, I issue an order, end the war today, begin to withdraw all American troops. It will take a year to get the American troops out. Do you hear me now? That's the truth. It will take a year to get them physically out. Now, if you leave all the equipment behind, you might be able to do it in 7 months. And you leave those billions of dollars of weapons behind, I promise they're going to be used against your grandchild and mine someday.
August the 31st, 2021, the day the final US military plane left Kabul airport, bringing to an end 20 years of American presence in Afghanistan. The US left behind stacks of military equipment from aircraft to guns, adding to the haul of weaponry the Taliban had been gathering in recent months, taken from the Afghan army as it retreated. So, what kind of equipment do they have now, and how dangerous could it be? Taliban members entered the former US military section of the airport just hours after the withdrawal. These fighters, members of the elite Badri 313 unit, can be seen inspecting CH-46 Sea Knight helicopters. This is one of 3 hangars in the military zone of the airport. A video filmed later on the north side shows an MD-530 helicopter. It's one of 43 kept in Afghanistan by the Afghan Air Force. Next to it, a light plane supplied to the Afghan Air Force by the Americans. The US Department for Defense has spent nearly $1.8 billion on building, training and equipping the Afghan Air Force since 2019. The figure spent across 20 years is far greater. But while images of Taliban fighters surrounded by sophisticated planes and helicopters is a concern, the reality could be quite different. The head of US Central Command has said that all 73 aircraft at Kabul airport were made unusable by the Americans. Analysis of satellite images from neighbouring Uzbekistan found that at least 45 aircraft had been moved to an airfield there. 21 light attack aircraft and tens of helicopters, including Black Hawks, can be seen on the tarmac in Uzbekistan. However, the Taliban are in possession of some aircraft that are still usable. This video shows Taliban fighters flying a Soviet-era Mi-17 helicopter near Herat. At least one UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter was seen being flown by the Taliban in Kandahar province. The Afghan Air Force had 33 of these iconic American choppers in Afghanistan at the end of June.
What really alarms me, I think, and what alarms a lot of Afghans now, is the potential that you have a Black Hawk helicopter being brought to bear on a village, potentially, say, of Hazaras, a community that they targeted in the 1990s, in acts of violence that Hazaras regarded as genocide. So that balance, I think, their capacity to rule Afghanistan more completely in a more brutal way, actually is a major concern.
And it's not just aircraft. Countless videos of the Taliban seizing huge caches of weapons have circulated in recent months as they swept across Afghanistan.
With the AK-47, the Taliban managed to defeat the world's most powerful military alliance in the United States and NATO. And they did that largely with, small arms.
Sky's Alex Crawford met members of the Taliban.
Whoa.
She was shown a haul of 900 guns and dozens of vehicles from a deserted Afghan army base in Wardok province. Thousands of US Humvees are also thought to have been seized by the group, but just like the aircraft, some have been taken across the border and out of the Taliban's hands. This video shows a convoy of Afghan forces in American Humvees heading into Iran. This military hardware will bolster the Taliban's capabilities, but they've also been left equally dangerous information. Handheld devices used by the US Army to collect biometric data on Afghans working with them are also said to have fallen into Taliban hands. This information could be used to track those down who have worked with Western forces.
Decided to move the plant back to the United States. We're not going to build it in Mexico. That's it. They have no choice. They have no choice. There are hundreds of things like that. I'll give you another example. Saudi Arabia. They make $1 billion a day. $1 billion a day. I love the Saudis. Many are in this building. They make $1 billion a day. Whenever they have problems, we send over the ships. We're going to protect. What are we doing? They got nothing but money. If the right person asked them, they pay a fortune. They wouldn't be there except for us. And believe me, you look at the border with Yemen. You remember Obama a year ago. Yemen was a great victory. 2 weeks later, the place was blown up. Everybody got, and they kept our equipment. They always keep our equipment. We don't send used equipment, right? They always keep our equipment. We ought to send some real junk, because frankly, we ought to send our surplus. We're always losing this gorgeous brand new stuff. But look at that border with Saudi Arabia. Do you really think that these people are interested in Yemen? Saudi Arabia, without us, is gone. They're gone. And I'm the one that made all of the right predictions about Iraq. You know, all of these politicians that I'm running against now, it's so nice to say I'm running as opposed to if I run, I'm running. But all of these politicians that I'm running against now, they're trying to disassociate. I mean, you looked at Bush, it took him 5 days to answer the question on Iraq. He couldn't answer the question, he didn't know. I said, is he intelligent? Then I looked at Rubio. He was unable to answer the question. Is Iraq a good thing or a bad thing? He didn't know. He couldn't answer the question. How are these people going to lead us? How are we going to go back and make it great again? We can't. They don't have a clue. They can't lead us. They can't. And we're going to be there very soon. We're going to be there very soon. We have people that are selling this country down the drain. You know what? And I have to brag. I don't have to. Believe it or not. I'm doing that to say that that's the kind of thinking. $4 billion. I said, I don't need it. I don't want it. And I've been there. I don't want it. But in 2 seconds, they give me whatever I wanted. So I have a total net worth. And now with the increase, it'll be well over $10 billion. But here, a total net worth of $8 billion. Net worth, not assets, not liability. A net worth. After all debt, after all expenses, the greatest assets, Trump Tower, 1290 Avenue of the Americas, Bank of America building in San Francisco, 40 Wall Street, sometimes referred to as the Trump building, right opposite the New York City. Many other places, all over the world. So the total is $8,737,540,000. Now, I'm not doing that to brag, because you know what? I don't have to brag. I don't have to, believe it or not. I'm doing that to say that that's the kind of thinking our country needs. We need that thinking. We have the opposite thinking. We have losers. We have losers. We have people that don't have it. We have people that are morally corrupt. We have people that are selling this country down the drain. So I put together the statement, and the only reason I'm telling you about it today is because we really do have to get going. Because if we have another 3 or 4 years, you know, we're at 18 trillion now, we're soon going to be at 20 trillion. According to the economists, who I'm not big believers in, but nevertheless, this is what they're saying, that 24 trillion, we're very close. That's the point of no return. $24 trillion. We will be there soon. That's when we become Greece.
Now we are 29 trillion in debt with Biden.
That's when we become a country that's unsalvageable. And we're going to be there very soon. We're going to be there very soon.
Make America strong!
So, just to sum up, I would do various things very quickly. I would repeal and replace the big lie Obamacare. I would build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me. And I'll build them very inexpensively. I will build a great wall on our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall. Mark my words. Nobody would be tougher on ISIS than Donald Trump. Nobody. I will find within our military, I will find the General Patton, or I will find General MacArthur. I will find the right guy. I will find the guy that's going to take that military and make it really work. Nobody will be pushing us around. I will stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons. And we won't be using a man like Secretary Kerry that has absolutely no concept of negotiation, who's making a horrible and laughable deal, who's just being tapped along as they make weapons right now, and then goes into a bicycle race at 72 years old and falls and breaks his leg. I won't be doing that. And I...
Mr. President, may I talk
Yeah. You got the good work? I keep on taking these things off. You got my foot caught in it.
Mr. President, made up your mind on China tariffs, Mr. President.
I'm ready to go. All right, guys. See you.